Hey, Silverbacks fans, I'm Blake Friars, and this is Silverbacks Weekly. Silverbacks Weekly will be on YouTube and all platforms on social media to get you up to date on everything Salmon Arm Silverbacks. It'll have weekly recaps, player interviews, highlights, and much more. This episode, of course, is episode 1. We're joined by the captain, Daniel Panetta. Nice interview with him. Talked about growing up playing hockey in Ontario, his time in the Ontario Junior Hockey League, and of course, his first season last year in Salmon Arm. The Silverbacks are coming off an impressive sweep over the Wenatchee Wild and Victoria Grizzlies this past weekend. We'll start with the Wenatchee Wild. It was a dominating 8-2 victory on Friday night at the Shaw Center. Isaac Lambert scored a pair of goals. His first BCHL goal came in that game, as did Nathan Moritz. A beauty on the backhand. It was an offensive explosion, something that we haven't seen from the Silverbacks this season. 4 goals in the first period, 3 goals in the second period. A 4-goal explosion. Matthew Kabetawa really finding his game in that one. The top line continues to produce for the Salmon Arm Silverbacks. 35 points combined in the first 7 games. Lucas Matta has really stepped up in Kieran Rushinsky's absence, scoring goals in 3 of his last 4 games, and sits surprisingly third in team scoring with 9 points in 7 games. The French line has been contributing for this Salmon Arm team. 7 goals the last 2 games. What is the French connection here? It's Isaac Lambert, Matthew Kabetawa, and Nathan Moore, and a line that got put together not too long ago, but boy, have they ever seemed to click. Matthew Kabetawa kind of struggled his first few games adjusting to the BCHL, but boy, he's really hit his stride ever since the BCHL showcase down in Chilliwack, where he scored 2 rocket power play goals from the identical spot. And he picked that up in the game against Victoria, which I'll get to in a second. But boy, he's really starting to show that lethal shot on the power play can be a weapon for this Salmon Arm hockey club. The power play, speaking of it, 4th best in the BCHL with a 29.4 clip. A power play that had a lot of good puck movement early on in the season, just wasn't getting many results. They had a percentage under 10%, but boy, the last 3 or 4 games, the power play has really stepped up. It's been a big momentum shift for this team, and it's contributing to a lot of their success in the goal differential department. 3rd best, plus 18. And the biggest takeaway from me so far this season for the Silverbacks is the amount of goals they let in. They've allowed the least amount of goals in the BCHL at 16. Goaltenders have been great. Owen Say is 5-0-1 on the season. He started both games this weekend. Liam Vanderkoy started against Coquitlam in the showcase, stopped 20 of 22, and that was his first start since the Penticton start in the preseason on October 2nd. So it was a while for him to get back in the lineup, but he played pretty well. Their penalty kill has been superb all season long, only surrendering 2 power play goals. The best penalty kill in the BCHL so far. It is early, but an impressive 93.1% on the penalty kill. Like I mentioned, the top line continues to produce. Simon Tassi with 2 goals again this weekend, and Owen Say stopped 26 of 28 against the Wenatchee Wild. Shifting over to Victoria on Saturday night, a 7-4 victory for the Salmon Arm Silverbacks, a game they led 7-2. They let a couple in past them late in that game to make it 7-4. Isaac Lambert got it started again. That line, like I said, has been clicking very well. Panetta scored his 2nd of the season. His first came in the BCHL showcase, of course, against the Nanaimo Clippers. And Matthew Kabetawa scored back-to-back goals, the 3rd and 4th goal for the Salmon Arm Silverbacks. Another rocket on the power play. That one-timer, again, proving to be so lethal. 3 of his 5 goals, have been on the power play. and now he has 5 overall on the year. Like I said, struggled a little bit, but boy, he's really finding his game. 3 goals, 1 assist this past weekend. He's got 6 points his last 4 games. Goals in 4 straight games. It's been a remarkable week for Matthew Cabetta-Waugh, and he's this week's Silverback of the Week. How can you not? Cabetta-Waugh really starting to shine in these moments. He's getting an opportunity in the power play, and he's taking full advantage of it. And ever since he's gotten put with Lambert and Morin, things just seem to be clicking. He's finding the right areas. His second goal of the night against Victoria, puck found him right beside the net. And if you go to the net, good things are going to happen. And that's exactly what's happening with Matthew Cabetta-Waugh. Tassie with 2 more this weekend, like I mentioned. Hartman got his first of the season against the Victoria Grizzlies. Danny Ciccarello had a nice goal this weekend, his first of the season. Owen Say, like I mentioned, started both games. Stopped 23 of 27, couple late goals. Otherwise, he was great. He had a great breakaway save when the score was 1-0 on Ebert, the defender from Victoria. Great game overall. Let's hop over to the interior division standings. Salmon Arm currently is in first place. It goes by point percentage this year, of course, because the Wenatchee Wild play less games than everybody else in the division. 6-1 for the Silverbacks for 13 points. The Penticton V's 7-1 for 14 points. The Prince George Spruce Kings 7-2 for 14 points. West Kelowna Warriors 5-2 for 10 points. The Trail Smoke Eaters 5-3-1 for 11 points. Cranbrook Bucks 4-3 on the year. The Vernon Vipers, who the Silverbacks will play. I'll get to the upcoming schedule shortly in this episode. They're 3-3-2 for 8 points. The Wenatchee Wild, who the Silverbacks just played last weekend, of course, 0-3-3, still searching for their first win of the season. And the Merritt Centennials in the cellar of the interior division, an 0-8 record, still winless on the season. We'll take a short break here for a commercial break, and we will head to the interview with Daniel Panetta. It'd be interesting to see what you guys think of the interview. The captain really opened up a little bit and told us a little bit about himself.
Waiting on the edge of this moment, holding out for something golden. Found a light on a hill. I was waking up, looking for peace in a world that's divided. Gotta hold on tight when you find it. I was turning around, I was waking up. You're pulling me right in, rotate to you again. I'll live the rest of my life by your side. I wanna stay here forever, playing it all like the radio. Don't see how it could be better, all I know is don't let go. Stuck in a head rush about it, we're spinning fast, we're moving slow. I don't know how, but we found it, something supernatural. All this feels like home, supernatural.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new show we're going to be doing each week called Silverbacks Weekly. I am the voice of the Silverbacks, Blake Friars. I will have a new guest for you each and every week. It might be a player, might be a coach, maybe a trainer. This week, I got the captain with me, Daniel Panetta. Daniel, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, just maybe it's a good opportunity for me to get to know the guys. First year with the Silverbacks. So I guess I'll just take you back to your childhood a little bit. How old were you when you first started playing the game?
Definitely tough to remember, but I would probably guess around 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah. So was your brother Jacob a big reason why, a big influence for you to play hockey?
Definitely. I think I looked up to all of my siblings. I got 2 other siblings as well, Kristen and Matthew. They all either played hockey or figure skating. I think watching them exceed in their field, that they played, I think it really pushed me to play at the game.
So you being from Belleville growing up, did you do a lot of skating in the outdoor ponds?
Yeah, definitely. We also lived on a small little lake too, so we'd go skate there a lot during the winter. But yeah, if there was frozen ice, we'd definitely be on it.
What are some of your favorite memories growing up out there?
I would probably say going to skate on our little lake called Robin Lake. It's definitely a good time, and we had some cousins nearby as well, so it was always fun doing that.
So you're from Ontario. I take it you're a Leaf fan, obviously. How did you become a Leaf fan, and do you like do you like how the team's doing right now?
I became like it's just they're the close team for me. It'd obviously be between Ottawa and Toronto, and kind of just all my siblings. We all like the Leafs, so kind of just fell in love with them. But definitely not enjoying watching them right now. But they'll definitely figure it out.
So you played with the Wellington Dukes before you got traded over to the Salmon Arm Silverbacks. Like, what was your favorite memories playing in Wellington, and just kind of tell me about that experience.
Yeah, there was a lot of memories playing there. Loved every minute of it. But definitely my favorite memory has to be winning the OJHL championship and then going all the way to the RBC. It was pretty incredible year for sure.
What would you say the biggest difference is from the OJHL compared to the BCHL that you're playing in now?
They're both great leagues. I think the BCHL might be just a little bit of a faster pace, but yeah, they're definitely both great leagues.
So walk me through. I did some research. You scored a goal in the RBC Cup. Do you remember the goal? And if so, why don't you walk me through it a little bit?
Yeah, it's definitely a goal. It's pretty hard to forget. I can just remember getting a pass through the middle from Frank Pucci. And then I got it on my backhand, try to go backhand forehand, and it just went off my backhand and went 5-hole luckily. And
was it a big goal? History. Is there any significance to it?
It was the winning goal to send us to the finals.
Oh, overtime?
Yeah. No, just I think it was midway through the third period.
So awesome. That's pretty cool. So you're traded to Salmon Arm. Did you know anything about the BCHL or Salmon Arm before you got traded?
I knew a little bit about Salmon Arm, but I didn't know a whole lot about the BC. All I really knew about the BCHL was basically playing there in the RBC.
So now that you're here in the BCHL, what is the biggest thing that you maybe didn't know about the league?
I wouldn't. There's like a lot of new things you definitely learn about it. It's a really great league, and like you're never not going to play a bad team every night, and it's great organization in Salmon Arm as well. So
what were some of your expectations before you got the BCHL, and is it what you expected?
Yeah, you always have expectations when you're going places, and my expectation just kind of was to obviously get some good friendships out here, and obviously just grow as a player and individual off the ice.
So you immediately came into this team and you got a letter on your jersey. You were assistant captain. Did that make the transition a little bit easier for you?
I definitely found the transition between the leagues a little bit difficult, just with my play. But I think being given that leadership role just gave me a little bit more confidence, and was also just helped me a little bit more on the ice. I think definitely.
Talk about the transitional for your play. Like what about the play was difficult for you transitioning for leagues?
Just I think a little bit of a faster pace, maybe just a little bit of a stronger league, and it took me a little bit of time, but I think when I hit the pod, I finally found it.
Talk about that pod season. How did you think you did as a individual, and how the team did, and you picked up a hat trick in a game? Like, just overall, what did you think of it?
It was obviously everyone made the best of what we got, and we're definitely all grateful for what we got. And I think as a team, we really grew through the pod. We showed signs of being a great team. And I think if we had a little bit more chance of an opportunity to show, we would have been a very good team.
So you're named captain this year. Overall, what does that mean to you, and how grateful are you to get the opportunity to lead this team this year?
Yeah, I'm very grateful. It's an unbelievable group of guys, and very grateful to be named that from the coaches and the staff and everyone. It's a real it's a real great opportunity to be able to lead this great group of guys.
Did you learn anything from Hunter Sansbury and Logan Shaw last year, kind of a part of the leadership group? And if so, what did you learn, particularly Hunter Sansbury, who was the captain last year?
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot from those guys, especially from those two and Drew Bennett. Like being able to be in a leadership group with all three of those guys is definitely like I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to learn from. Hunter Sansbury, I've never seen a guy be so locked in and just be willing to do anything for the team. And like I've never played with anyone like that. And Shazi and Benny, those were great guys. They worked really hard, and they all obviously knew how to relax too and let loose, so the boys weren't always so tense. It was a great mix of a leadership group for sure with those three.
So you're heading into your final junior season here, 20-year-old year. Did you do anything different in the summer to help you prepare for this upcoming season?
I trained with my same trainer, also with my brother, Jackie Jarrow. But the main difference I really did is I actually really focused on my eating this year. Did a lot of meal prep and stuff like that, and I think that really helped me It transitioned to my game a lot and made me feel a lot more confident about my play and how strong I came into the season.
So the team and yourself off to a great start this year. You got your first your first goal of the season in that BCHL showcase, and tell me about your celebration. You took that monkey off your back. Just talk about the weight lift off your shoulders a little bit, and finally getting that first of the season.
Yeah, it's a really good feeling. It's obviously the first one of the season is always the hardest to get, I believe, but the team's really gelling together. We're playing really good hockey right now and couldn't be asking for anything better.
Do you have any favorite pregame meals, any game day superstitions that you like to do?
Not really. I'm not really superstitious. I'm kind of easy going with all that stuff. I think probably the biggest pregame meal superstition I'd say is I always got to have sweet potatoes no matter what the meal is.
You can't go wrong with any sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
What do you do away from the rink in your free time?
Usually just kind of either hanging out with the guys or probably playing video games with the guys as well.
So you're on a line with Brandon Sanawana and a young player and Ethan Ulrich. It seems like you guys have really started to gather chemistry. You guys got kind of put together around the showcase. What does a player like Ethan Ulrich bring to your line? And obviously Brandon Sanawana has been in the league for a long time.
Yeah, Santa obviously is a really, really good offensive talent. I mean, you can't go wrong playing with him. He'll always get you the puck, and he's always making plays with the puck. And Ethan Ulrich, even though he's young, you wouldn't be able to tell after watching his game. He's a great two-way forward. You can trust him at either end of the ice. He's just a really good player as well. Couldn't be happy to play with any other guys.
So I gotta ask you a question here. You were number 12. Is there any significance why you were in the number 12?
I'm not 100% sure with that. It's just kind of been a family thing. Whenever the number's available, we'll always take it. And my siblings have done that. My parents kind of put that on to us, and just that's the number I always go with. It's my favorite number.
Is there an NHL player that you like to model your game after?
It used to be Jonathan Toews, but I think I've been compared to Ryan O'Reilly, just in I kind of compare myself into that sense. Just he's a great two-way forward, and he can put up some pretty good numbers as well.
I see you feel like you take a lot of pride in killing penalties and winning face-offs. Would that be the case for you?
Yeah, I enjoy doing the little things. I think that's a lot of people love seeing that, and I mean it's a huge thing. It's a big difference maker for sure. And yeah, it's just something I love doing.
So, final question I have for you: do you set any goals when you come into a season, whether it's individual or a team goal?
Yeah, you obviously have the main goal of winning a championship and being the strongest team. But yeah, I always try to come in with little team goals, especially. Just you always want to be that tightest group in the league. You want to have that loudest bench. Even small goals like that will help build towards the main goal, which is the championship.
Yeah, I got one more before we go. So last year you obviously had the 20-game pod season, but there was no playoffs. There's really nothing to play for after that. How exciting are you to finally get a chance to showcase your talents, the team talents, and compete in a playoffs and try to win a championship?
Yeah, it's definitely nice to finally know you're really playing for something this year, and it's really exciting, especially with the group of guys that we have. We've got a really good, strong team, and it's definitely makes everything a lot more exciting. Every single game, every minute of every game, a lot more exciting to be in.
That was Captain Daniel Panetta joining me. Daniel, best of luck the rest of the season, and thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
This Wednesday, which will be tomorrow against the Vernon Vipers here at the Shaw Center. Puck drop is set for 7 o'clock. The Silverbacks will then play the Merritt Centennials. They played them in Merritt the first of the season. They picked up a 3-1 victory on the road. That is also at 7 o'clock. And on Saturday, the Salmon Harbor Silverbacks travel to the Coquitlam to battle the Express, also at 7 o'clock. That'll do it for this first episode of Silverbacks Weekly. We'll be back next week for some more recaps, highlights, and much more. Don't forget to obviously subscribe to us on YouTube so you can watch us each and every week. And don't forget to give us a like on Facebook and on Twitter. Interviews, highlights, graphics, everything you need to know about the Silverbacks will be on our social media. So if you can give us a follow there, we appreciate that. And don't forget to subscribe.